1 century ago, Major League Baseball went live. This week is the 100th anniversary of the start of the live ball era. On April 14, 1920, opening day closed the book on the Deadball Era and marked the start of baseball as we know it. Baseballs were better made, cleaner, easier to see. Spitballs and scuffing were phased out. And, maybe most importantly, Babe Ruth became Babe Ruth. When Ruth joined the Yankees and crushed 54 home runs that first season, baseball changed forever. Think of everything the home run means to the game today. Try to imagine MLB without its great home run races. You can't. Here are the stories of the earliest home runs of the live ball era in the words of those who witnessed them. MLB.com tracked down the original newspaper accounts of every opening day home run hit in 1920, plus Ruth's first, 30th, 50th and 54th homers. They're a must-read. Opening day, April 14, 1920. There were 4 home runs hit on the first day of the 1920 season. They all made the papers. Ed Roush, Reds vs. Cubs, Redland Field. Ed Roush is a Hall of Famer and 2-time batting champion, but he hit just 68 career homers. He was still part of the inaugural group of live ball era home run hitters. In the reigning World Series champions' 7-3 win on opening day, Roush went deep off fellow Hall of Famer Grover Cleveland Alexander. Famed sportswriter I.E. Sanborn, one of the founding members of the Baseball Writers Association of America, chronicled Roush's homer in the Chicago Tribune. A home run by Ed Roush with 2 on in the first round started the demolition of our hopes and upset Alexander the Great for a spell. The Reds made Alexander pitch when he showed signs of lack of control. As a result, Daubert drew a pass, Groh peeled off a double and Roush smashed a fly over center which Paskert chased to the fence. Roush completed the squared circle, driving 2 Reds ahead of him. Wally Pipp, Yankees at Athletics, Shibe Park. While Roush was completing his squared circle in Cincinnati, Wally Pipp and Cy Perkins traded homers 570 miles to the east as the Yankees and A's clashed in Philadelphia. Pipp's came first. Though Pipp is mostly remembered as the player Lou Gehrig replaced to start his 2,130 consecutive game streak, he's also the first Yankee to homer in the live ball era, not Ruth. The Babe actually dropped a fly ball in his first Yankees game that gave the A's a 3-1 win. With the Iron Horse's debut 3 years away, the New York Times wrote of Pipp, the actual hero of the lost cause today was Senor Wally Pipp, who pays no more rent for his quarters at first base now than he paid last year, but has not been evicted because he's a highly desirable tenant. Pipp slashed the ball over the right field fence in the first inning for New York's only tally of the afternoon. The bases at the time were entirely depopulated owing to the demise of Messrs. Gleich and Peckinpah on their way to first base. In his very first at-bat of the season, Pipp brought a cudgel to the plate and hit a ball 70 parasangs, the parasang being, of course, an ancient Persian unit of distance. Then came Wally Pipp with a heavy club and a look of determination. He let a couple pass and then caught a twister on the end of his cudgel and it sailed on a non-stop journey of 70 parasangs over the barrier in right field. Pipp's homer even prompted some heckling of Ruth in his first at-bat in pinstripes. Babe Ruth now came ambling forth amid applause and cries of "Pipp's crabbing your act, Babe, he's stealing your stuff, you haven't got a hit in your bag." Babe fooled them, however. He had a perfectly good hit, which he promptly produced. Cy Perkins, Athletics vs. Yankees, Shibe Park. Perkins had the equalizer to Pipp. After the A's won, the Philadelphia Inquirer's Edgar F. Wolf wrote, under the clever pseudonym Gymnasium, for the hometown paper, the fans saw Ralph Perkins clout a vehement home run, which comes under the head of an innovation, and they saw Babe Ruth losing a ball game instead of winning one, which can also be classed as an unusual occurrence. Mr. Nasium's account was even prophetic of the modern philosophy of home runs are good. Each team had scored 1 run through the very useful and efficient method of slamming the ball off the premises. First time to waddle to the plate for the season, in the very first period of play, Wally Pipp, who lives in Grand Rapids, but plays ball for New York, paddled one of Perry's pitches far over the right field wall into 20th Street, personally conducting the first run of the season over the plate, there being nobody on at the time. First up in the fifth inning for our fellows, C. Perkins then smashed one on the snoot and gave it to a spectator who happened to be sitting in the proper seat halfway up in the left field seats, and this tied up the score. Harry Heilman, Tigers at